Help us amplify the voice of God. Pledge now by calling or texting GIVE to 260-436-9598.
Become a day sponsor and honor a birthday, anniversary, feast day, or other special occasion with an on-air message. With a $400 donation, your personalized message will air 6 times on the day of your choosing. For a $700 donation, it will air 12 times. And for $1,000, it will air 18 times. Plus, your donation supports the mission of Redeemer Radio. Become a day sponsor now.
Help us continue encouraging others like you to live a vibrant life of faith. Call or text GIVE to the Holy Cross College text line at 260-436-9598 or donate online at redeemerradio.com. This is Redeemer Radio Sharathon. Thank you for listening to and supporting your local Catholic radio station.
Good morning and welcome back to Redeemer Radio Spring Sharathon. I'm Diana Parent, your host for this next hour, and joining us this hour is St. Joe Hessen Cassel. We have with us Father Bill Coomer, Janine Skordos, our principal, and the music director, Tom Saul. So we are completely plugged in this hour on everything St. Joe Hessen Cassel. Principal, tell us a little bit what's going on at the school there.
We've got a lot going on at the school, especially when you talk about service projects. We have such giving parents and families at St. Joe. We just raised $207 for the Redeemer Radio Sharathon today, and that was by the kids being able to wear green for St. Patrick's Day. So right now, instead of being red and blue, we are green. Recently, our third graders spearheaded what's called Backpacks of Love. And that was, we took 50 backpacks that were donated by Vera Bradley, and we filled them with things that children who are removed from their families may need. So if you think of 50 kids being removed and what would they need if they are it's an emergency and they're removed from their families. So a set of clothing, personal items, a toy, a book. Our families were able to fill 50 backpacks. That's huge for a small school like ours of 162 kids.
So third grade, that's what, like 8 years old, 9 years old?
8, 9 years old, yeah.
Boy, what a lesson for them, right? Of charity and them having to think, what would I need if I couldn't be here?
Right. And every year, Mrs. Prince, who is our third grade teacher, spearheads a service project of some sort. So this was all school, the whole school got involved, and then the kids packed all the backpacks.
What a wonderful thing.
So, yeah, that's just amazing.
It is.
Around Christmas time every year, we support the Ave Maria House. And this year, a lot of winter outfits, so scarves, hats, gloves, blankets, things that somebody would need if they were out in the weather. And it was amazing the amount of goods that were brought in. Such a caring community. So I know that we're going to make our goal because our people are just wonderful. In addition to that, every year our 5th to 8th grade helps with the food bank, whether it's unloading the trucks that come in or helping to load boxes for distribution. So we do a lot with a little. And it's exciting to watch every year.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So if you've heard or if you're just tuning in, it sounds like the students at St. Joe Hessen Cassel were our first pledge this hour.
Yes.
And they've raised enough to cover a whole hour of ministry here for the radio. An hour of ministry for the radio station costs about $150. So we want to cover as many hours as we can. And every 25 pledges we get this hour, we're going to be able to have a matching bonus. So we want to get that going, and so I appreciate the students for kicking us off. So we hope that all of our parishioners at St. Joe Hessen Cassel are starting to tune in and get those bids coming in, and Father Coomer's just rolling in and interrupting us all. But tell us more about the school, if you would, Principal.
We are growing by leaps and bounds out there. Although our upper grades are low in number, they're mighty. They do a lot of good. Loving kids. our younger grades are right around 20 kids. So we expect growth throughout the next few years, and we've got some great things going on. We've introduced robotics to the kids. And many other, we've got a new art teacher who has a lot of experience and is introducing many different forms of art to the kids. He's even played an accordion for the kids in class and made up music. So he's showing them art is more than just drawing.
My days.
Wow.
So a lot of fun out there.
Done it all.
That's great. So you say you're mighty in numbers. I think that's the theme for all charities we have here in Northeast Indiana. They're so benevolent, and the fact that the school is getting an opportunity to have some hands-on learning. So are any of the students going to be able to plug into the podcast or this morning either live or by one of our podcasts or Facebook Live?
Not that I know of, not this morning.
Well, it'll be recorded, so you can
Kyle
get them
probably loved these
to plug
things
in
so
later
yeah.
and listen to all the great things you had to say about them. So, Father Bill, we've been hearing about all the wonderful things going on at the parish school and all how active the kids are in the community.
You know how things are with us. I've always wanted to get the hour behind the Tipmans. For some reason, they wouldn't give it to me this year, so they put us before the Tipmans, and I have to do church in the morning. And I told both Tom and Janine here that I would be a little tardy coming, and I wanted to come and sing Irish hymns, but apparently you were so wrapped in talking to service projects at the school to get it done. So anyway, I'm delighted to have the microphone in front of my nose again. It's always fun. I remember with someone just telling Mrs. Black out there that it was always fun to be on a radio station. So I'm happy for these moments of Sharathon.
Well,
Was there a question in that? I'm sorry. I'm just
no.
rattling on here.
I love it. So your parishioners are already showing up, and we want to thank some pledges already coming in from Leonard Herber and Mr. and Mrs. George Ruppart and John and Jennifer Cabral. Am I saying that correctly? But thanks so much for being here and kicking off our hour. We really appreciate your support for Redeemer Radio. Yeah. So you talked about your experience in radio. You're a pro.
Hardly that. No, I was given a great honor way back when they used to do some local programming here in the morning, and so I'd show up a little bit after 6 in the morning and talk for a while with Deacon Ty, and after him with. They also told me never to hit the microphone, and also to a little bit with Kyle Hyman. So that's my memory of that. But I've always had a fascination with radio and wanted to do that. Anyway, we're happy to be here to support the work and the ministry of Redeemer Radio, and I think it adds us an opportunity to really be a visible, if not an audio presence in the community to foster our work of Jesus Christ, His ministry. So the radio presence helps us and all of us in the church to do that.
Right. Well, I think you're being modest. Of course, all of us remember Coomer's Corner, and that was around for a long time, and we really, really loved it. And for those that are fans of Coomer's Corner, make sure you reach out and make a pledge today. There's a lot of different easy ways to give. They've made it very simple on us. You can go to redeemerradio.com, and there's a giant gold button there. It just says Give Now. That's easy. If your phone's available, which we all have our phones, you can simply call or text 260-436-9598 and type Give. Very, very simple. And, of course, the Redeemer Radio app is always available and really nice to keep around so you know what programming's coming up. And there's also a Give Now button there. So a lot of easy ways to give. But we also want to thank a pledge that just came in from Stephen Beckman. So really, really appreciate the parishioners at St. Joe Hessen Cassel. But there are a lot of alum parishioners at St. Joe Hessen Cassel, and we'd love to hear from them too. All of those that have been touched by the parish and all their lives, we'd love to hear from that. But definitely, let's hear about some fams from Coomer's Corner if we can.
If they remember, we're relatively a young parish. We're founded in the year 1841, shortly before I was born, and it was really it's been a wonderful community out there on the south side of our community, just outside the city limits, but we have lots of fun and lots of people. But hopefully, we're kind of aiming at spiritual development. And I don't know if Tom had a chance to talk yet on, but we are, with the rest of the parishes, launching into this Eucharistic revitalization program and everything. And I'm kind of personally excited about that, although sometimes on a Sunday morning we talk about that. We might be speaking to the choir in a sense, but I think all of us need to have a revitalization and a courage to, by our life and by our words and by our apostolic activity, demonstrate the depth of our faith in the real presence of Christ, so that even though he's ascended to heaven, he's not left us alone, and sacramentally always present with that. And the good news, of course, is that Tom over there is kind of running the show for us, and that's good at that. You haven't sung Irish Eyes yet, huh?
I was waiting for you, Father.
Yeah, that'd be a help, wouldn't it?
So yeah, we want to make sure we get a chance to get a shout out to one of our co-hosts today. This hour is Tom Saul, the music director at St. Joe Hessen Cassel, but also, as Father had mentioned, is leading the Eucharistic renewal for St. Joe Hessen Cassel. So tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Sure. Well, where should I even begin? In the last line of my contract, I should say that it basically says, the last line says, other duties as otherwise given by the pastor of the church. And so Father graciously handed this duty on to me, which basically means I just do whatever he tells me to do. But so this is a responsibility that I've been given for kind of putting the church in touch with whatever is going on in the diocese with respect to the Eucharistic revival. And that is that over the last few years, the bishops have discussed the just kind of discouraging numbers about the lack of faith in the real presence of Jesus in the Eucharist anymore. There's like some 30% of people who don't believe, basically who just think that, that 70% really, who think that it's symbolic. The bread and wine is just symbolic of the flesh and blood of Jesus. And so as a response to this, they have spearheaded a movement that will get parishes and families and dioceses and youth groups and basically kind of an all-hands-on-deck situation in the American church to revitalize that faith for, first of all, the people who are sitting in the pews. And then over the next couple years, there's going to be training programs and formation opportunities so that we can go out to people in our larger outside communities to be able to welcome people back to the church and to evangelize in that way. And so, for the first year, 2022, it's the diocesan year, and that will be kicked off June the 19th, which is the Feast of Corpus Christi, the body and blood of our Lord. And that will be a processional that's led by His Excellency Kevin Carl Rhodes in Warsaw. It's going to be 2.5 miles or so from Sacred Heart to Our Lady of Guadalupe. Diocesan-wide, there should be thousands of people there. It's going to be the largest Corpus Christi processional in our diocese maybe ever, or certainly in a long time. And it will be a multicultural event. There's going to be food afterward. There's going to be music and choirs. There will be exhibits of Eucharistic miracles. All orders and degrees of the faithful will be just kind of exhibiting their booth of whatever it is that they're getting involved in. So that's on June the 19th. It also happens to fall on Father's Day, which I think is a great gift for fathers to give to their children. Yep, and vice versa. So, so right now we're just kind of in the phase of promoting that, and volunteers, participants, you can sign up on the diocesan website.
Well, that is such the revival, the Eucharistic revival is so important. As a convert, as an adult convert, learning about that the body and blood of Christ is a real thing. It was a lot to get your head around as a new Catholic, or even maybe as a cradle Catholic that wasn't raised that way. And it was through programs like Redeem Radio and so many different kind of catechistic opportunities in the diocese that kind of helped me kind of understand it. But it's still at times hard to get your head around that. So I mean, this is a wonderful movement, and it's going to be so great to see how all the different parishes really, lean in and take advantage of it. So it sounds like Hessen Cassel is already way ahead of it and got a lot of good plans.
All in the hands of Tom. He was doing a great job for us. And did you talk to the director of arts to redo your poster, or do we have to bribe him?
No. He'll be in on Friday. We're going to talk about it.
I see. Okay. Yeah. No, this really is going to be a wonderful thing, and I know it's Tom won't admit it, but he's doing a lot of extra work, and I do. And the whole parish appreciates that time and that energy.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Well, again, we're here for the Spring Sharathon here for Redeemer Radio. When the opportunity gives, you do it very easily a lot of different ways. You can go to their website at redeemer.com and hit the giant gold Give Now button. Everyone has a cell phone now, it seems, so you could text or even call 260-436-9598 and simply type give or say, I'd like to give a donation. But I'd also want to take a moment right now to thank Mr. and Mrs. Tim Schmidt for their pledge in honor of St. Joe Hessen Cassel. So we'd love to hear from more parishioners and more former parishioners of St. Joe Hessen Cassel. It has such a long history. Father says, of course, it's a very young parish, but again, tell us, what year was it founded?
1804. I'm going to tell you, 182 years.
182 years young.
1841.
So there are a lot of lives and souls that have been touched by Hessen Cassel. So there's a lot of people to call in honor of a lot of people that have been blessed there over the years. So Tom, tell us a little bit about the music program at Hessen Cassel.
The music program, well, it's a small operation. It's just me.
But important, critical.
It's just me up there on the organ. No, and then we have a couple diehard singers who are there every Sunday who love to offer their talents. I've just been doing music. We were kind of talking before the show, but I've been doing it since high school, really. Bishop Lewis High School has an awesome performing arts department, and so Hessen Cassel is really actually a feeder school into them, among other schools. But so we're all kind of educated and grew up with the same music and all of the hymns that we all know and love. I started working there at maybe 4 years ago now. This is like my fifth Laetare Sunday. I remember my first Sunday was Laetare Sunday. But anyway, so it's been a while, and I think I'm just interested in how to get people singing and getting people introduced to like a broader scope maybe of different hymns and things that are a part of the great treasury of Catholic history and liturgy that we have that maybe in the last few decades have kind of been lost or have gone underappreciated. And so I kind of have some schemes to maybe bring some different elements of sacred music to the people of Hessen Cassel, if they would be open to that.
Music ministry is such an important part of Mass. Especially for, all kinds of people background coming together, the Catholic faith, or visiting the Catholic faith for the first time. It's a great way to bring the Mass alive and to help people connect. But the one thing I want to point out today, this hour, that for every 20 pledges we have, we get to unlock an extra $500 gift in honor of St. Joe Hessen Cassel. So we're doing really well, but please keep calling in as we're chatting here. And talking more about the wonderful gifts of St. Joe Hessen Cassel, but also how Redeemer Radio has blessed their community. But we all know of Father Coomer's long love of radio, and not only here at Redeemer Radio, but I understand that your interest of radio and education via radio goes way back in your childhood.
Well, maybe, but who knows? I am now an old man. I was going to comment about this, our music ministry.
Oh, great.
The line that Tom quoted about his contract and other duties as assigned.
Oh.
It's just the way he involves me in that too. So I have some educational work to do myself in those things.
Yeah.
Well, if you send Stefano, I do have some pledges in my hand
Oh,
here.
wonderful.
Yeah, so they'll pick them up shortly.
Wonderful.
Good. So anyway, I always I got caught up in the power of radio, in the sense that I was born with the arrival of television, but there was always more. When you could use your own imagination to visualize things that are being said, I think it's a more rich experience sometimes than simply just watching somebody else's visualizing. You can do your own, and it's as nourishing. And maybe even learning a little of the skill of the prophets, for example, who always spoke in great images. And perhaps if we continue that heritage, our people in their religious and spiritual journey can envision and find themselves drawn not only kind of audibly, but also physically into the experiences of that. So when we say that the real presence is the real presence, it's the real presence.
Absolutely.
And, like that, that's a good deal.
It's interesting. I think radio is coming, full circle with, the new love of podcasts and different ways to communicate with people. I mean, the traditional, it was the ham radio going to AM radio to an FM radio, and now we have all these other streaming opportunities to also connect in. And Redeemer Radio is leading the charge in that. And they have a side organization or ministry that they support. It's called Spoke Street Media Podcast. It's a synergies of group that support podcasts of all different kinds of topics and on regarding your faith that help push forward the mission of Redeemer Radio. And I think it's really, really important that we talk about this wonderful traditions that Redeemer Radio has in leadership and education, and being able to focus and just be by yourself and listen is a wonderful way to learn.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. Janine, I want to give you a little task here while we're listening to music stuff. This is, we had another compatriot supposed to be with us. Her name was Leanne, but Leanne has gotten extra duty this morning. She has to grandparent. So
wonderful, best one ever.
So she's unable to be here, but she did send her religious notes. So while we're going to break here, I say I'm going to have Janine read this, prepare a few comments. All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, she has to review it.
Okay.
It's
well,
quite
we'll do
lengthy.
that. We're going to go to a quick break here
Sure.
in a moment when they're ready, and we'll come back and hear
that.
about this.
You never know how far the Holy Spirit can take your gift to Redeemer Radio. Our programs strengthen faithful parents, teachers and catechists, even our local priests who take the truth of the faith they hear on Redeemer Radio and share it even further. Your support will help spread the seeds of faith right here in our community.
I'm a firm believer that even as a father and as a husband, I'm very limited in my effect. I think sometimes when we live with people in the same house every day, we may not be overly effective. And sometimes they need a voice that they're not used to hearing. And I truly believe that God works through stations like Redeemer Radio to evangelize, and sometimes people just need to hear a different perspective or someone saying the same thing but coming from someone else. And I think that Redeemer Radio has a way of, through its programming, both the national stuff and then the local stuff, it has a way of getting a message across that is uplifting and not just beating you over the head. It's informative, but yet fun as well. So sometimes, especially with young people, when their parents give them this message, it doesn't resonate as much as it should, but sometimes when they hear it from, someone else, the same thing, it can resonate a little bit better, so.
We need your support to continue sharing the good news. Give securely online by going to redeemerradio.com and click Give Now, or call 260-436-9598.
This is Leonard DiLorenzo from the McGrath Institute for Church Life at the University of Notre Dame and host of Church Life Today on Redeemer Radio. On Church Life Today, we have conversations with pastoral leaders and scholars from around the country about issues that matter most to the church today. Thank you for listening and supporting Catholic programming like Church Life Today, heard right here on Redeemer Radio.
It costs about $150 to provide Redeemer Radio listeners with 1 hour of Catholic programming. All donors who give this amount or more automatically qualify for a specially designed t-shirt. Call today and support Redeemer Radio's efforts to amplify the voice of the Creator with content that invites.
Joining our mission is even easier with our mobile app. Download Redeemer Radio's app to your Apple or Android device and click Give Now.
Your investment helps listeners on every part of their faith journey. Call or text GIVE to the Holy Cross College text line at 260-436-9598 or donate online at redeemerradio.com. This is Redeemer Radio's Sharathon. Thank you for tuning in to your listener-supported local Catholic radio station.
Welcome back to Redeemer Radio's Spring Sharathon. I'm Diana Parent, your host for this hour, and we're here with St. Joe Hessen Cassel. We have Father Bill Coomer with us, Principal Janine Skordos, and our music director, Tom Saul. And we're having a lot of fun here. We have to remember to remind people to call in and make pledges. We're having so much fun. We could call in to use your website, redeemerradio.com. There's a giant gold button there. You can hit Give Now. Or call or text the word GIVE to 260-436-9598. But before we get started, we want to thank John and Sarah Shank and Melissa White for pledging now. We need 13 more pledges so we can unlock a $500 bonus to honor St. Joe Hessen Cassel this morning. So keep those rolling in. Father Bill, I have one burning question I want to ask you.
Sure.
I've never been honored to be a member of one of your parishes, but this question I've always wanted to ask you. Do you ever not smile? You always have a smile on your face, and you're always so happy and joyful.
All right, I'll increase my pledge a little bit. Make it worthwhile. There are some days, I guess, when I would not smile, but I don't know. I am what I am, I guess.
I know. I just want you to know that you are always a witness to many that you don't even know are watching. And I was one of those.
It's a lot easier to work for somebody who's happy.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, she didn't ask about that. She went over I smiled. Nothing about happiness. Very good.
A good motto for that is fake it till you make it, Father.
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, that's
for those
not good. That's faking stuff now. That. So I think we should listen to Tom's voice. Do you want to sing us the phone number? 260
867-5309.
That's a different one.
I don't think it'll go through.
It's a 436-9598 number we're talking about.
260-436-9598. How was that?
That's a new jingle for us for sure.
That's all right. So, call that number, make a pledge, help Redeemer Radio take the message of Jesus to our community and to our world.
Thanks to Donna and Corky Gleason for making a pledge. We really, really appreciate them. But as Father said, we want to hear a little bit about a program that Leanne Knirk has been working at with.
Oh, good. Well, she'd be happy to know she's working on it.
Okay. Now you just gave her another job.
No, Leanne was supposed to be with us, and she has sent us a few notes about her faith journey, the thing that you told us to talk about. And so I don't think we're going to do the whole thing, but while I talk, Janine's going to review that, come up with a couple of points from that. So, but you did ask about a program, and it has to do with the Eucharistic revitalization. You've a couple of parishes, most notably, I think Albion and perhaps Decatur has had the posters of Eucharistic miracles, and they'll be coming to St. Joe and Hessen Cassel this weekend.
Okay.
So I just wanted to put a commercial out for that. there are like 148 of them or something. We're going to have about 60 of them here. We were going to have the other section on Corpus Christi, but apparently there's another program going on in the diocese on Corpus Christi, which they'll have all of them there in Warsaw at the time of the Great Procession. So anyway, please come. You may remember the story, the beatification of Carlo Acutis, the little Italian boy who loved playing football, soccer, and the Eucharist. And he went around collecting all these stories of that. And Pope Francis beatified him a couple of years back. And so we always ask his prayers for us. And once in a while, this lady here, who's a principal, puts his picture up in the hallways of the school, so the young adolescents know they can be holy too and be among the blessed. So it's a good deal. So that's the commercial we're talking about.
Very good.
Come to Eucharistic Miracles this weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. They do make the Eucharist come alive when you realize these miracles that happened.
Now, that's an interesting story. I think the one that touched me yesterday was there was a church, I don't know, it was maybe in the early 1800s, had a flood, and the people were going over to the parish church to protect the Blessed Sacrament in the tabernacle, and they came into the church, and there's water on the right and there's water on the left, but the main aisle of the church was dry, and they could walk directly to the tabernacle and retrieve the Eucharist. So those kind of things like that, just amazing stuff.
So that's a great story. So there's so many people, Father Bill, that like you, not like myself, that love your smile and your energy. But a few people have spent some gifts in that I want to tell you about specifically.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, are you ready for this? John and Sarah wanted to make sure that they give a special Thanksgiving for Father Bill's spiritual development of their entire family, which is wonderful. And also Bill and Sandra also pledged. With a special note to you, it says, Father Billy, we love you. So for those of you that are alum of St. Joe Hessen Cassel, or you're active parishioners now, or you've been blessed to be a parishioner of Father Coomer at any time, please come in and give us a pledge for Redeemer Radio and support the ministries of St. Joe Hessen Cassel and Father Bill Coomer. And thanks so much for everyone being here today and the time that you're giving Redeemer this morning. But in order to give, feel free to call or text 436-9598, or easily go to the Redeemer Radio website at redeemerradio.com and just hit a giant gold button that says Give Now. It's very, very simple. But we want to thank you for that. And we also want to especially thank Leanne Knurk, who couldn't be here with us for her pledge, Raymond Krause, and of course, Father Bill Coomer, for your own personal pledge. We really, really appreciate those. Please keep those coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to, Leanne Knurk wrote a little bit that she wanted to talk about on air today, and I'm going to try to do this without crying because I remember when this happened. Hello, my name is Leanne Knurk, and I am a faithful listener to Redeemer Radio and enjoy the many programs and podcasts every day. I want to share a story which is part of my journey with Christ. Leanne's been married to her husband Tim for 36 years, and they have 4 children. 3 living adult children, and 1 who was taken home at age 17. It is through the death of my firstborn son that I have come to know deep mercy, grace, and love for our Heavenly Father. Her 17-year-old son was called home in a tragic accident. When she thought that this might happen, she knelt down and prayed, "Okay, Lord, he is either coming home to me or coming home to you. Either way, he is in your hands." Leanne tells many people it was a prayer, that prayer was a gift from the Holy Spirit. It gave her the opportunity to let go and trust that God was in control. When her husband came home and told her that Corey was gone, she found out that he had died in a single-car accident. There were many people who supported them during this time. God cared for them during this difficult situation through those people. She says, there were surely only one set of footsteps in the sand during this time, and they were God's. Now Leanne helps other people through a grief support system as one of the facilitators. It's been such a blessing to her and others to share God's love. So she says, thank you, Redeemer Radio, for sharing God's love with us and for those who do not know him yet.
That is just beautiful.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
That was hard.
So wonderful communities like St. Joe Hessen Cassel and Redeemer Radio, just, and encapsulating people with love. That's what parish life is all about. We have a message I want to share with you that one of your St. Joe Hessen Cassel's parishioners wanted everyone to know how much they love Redeemer Radio, specifically the Messy Family Project, which is one of our favorite podcasts that are here. So want to thank them for that. And also we have another parishioner that mentioned they love Redeemer Radio for all their many book recommendations. So those are really wonderful things that come from Redeemer Radio every single day. We're up to 15 pledges. We need 5 more to unlock a $500 match gift, and we appreciate that. But we also want a quick shout out to Joan Gerardo and Brittany Zembla. I'm probably saying that wrong.
It's Zembala.
Zembala. So I apologize. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your gift. We're about halfway to our goal. So we're right on target, but we do need to speed up a little bit. So don't be shy and get those phones ringing.
Yeah, call in. Even if, you have a call in, but make a pledge. Keep the radio station working. That's our goal.
So if we could, there's a couple projects that I want to ask about. But first, I want to hear Tommy sing this number again because he did that so well, our music director.
Oh, dear. What's the... where is it again? I'm sorry.
So let's see if you can do it in a different genre this time.
Okay. 260-436-9598.
Call now.
So, Father, can you tell us a little bit about
If I can stop laughing, sure.
I know. We're having a little bit too much fun here this morning. The Veil is Removed program.
The who?
The Veil is Removed?
Every Lent, we have a special extra Mass on a Wednesday, followed by some Lenten soup. Sometimes it's quite delicious and hardly a fast, but we have a little program. And this year's program is called The Veil Removed. And it's certainly not anything ours. It's a program's been around for a while. And as a matter of fact, I think the current conversation books might be their second printing already. So what we do is there's a video, this probably runs 6 minutes, give or take, depiction of Mass, but it's really rich with symbols, and including the saints and the angels and the incense and all this stuff, and people's facial reactions to the mystery of that. So the program helps us to take away, some mysterious things we may have, to be able to see the mystery unfold. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Kyle Heim would shoot me if he see me hitting this microphone. Sorry, Kyle. So here is the thing. So we watch this video every Wednesday, and then there's a series of questions which we do in a small group, and then but the big group takes some of the insights, and then the book has the answers. So then you turn to the answers and read through the presentation about those questions. And things like, for example, when the drop of blood falls into the chalice, what could that signify? So it's just a wonderful way to talk about the Eucharist, about the experience of coming to Mass as sort of a step into the next world, as it were. That some things might be hidden, but at Mass they're unveiled, and we see the mystery of the salvation of Good Friday, Holy Thursday, all kind of there, and it's a reality, and it makes a difference. And they have one great scene where they pan up at the altar, and there we have a sky full of angels, and then we have a side full of saints, and underneath some purgatorial people kind of all there. And it's really very nice to help us to take the veil, so that it's just not some kind of a cold ritual we do ritual that we do, but an intimate moment to the Paschal mystery. It's very good.
That is amazing, wonderful. So, as those kind of extra ministries and educational opportunities within the parishes and within Redeemer Radio are so important for all of us to continue to learn about our faith and deepen our faith, and not only just for Catholics, but we have many listeners who aren't Catholic that are very devoted to their faith, that love to learn more about our traditions, but also the love of Christ, and we really appreciate them as listeners as well. But I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I do want to ask, do you have a favorite program from Redeemer Radio that's broadcast? Some of your parishioners already meant they love to get book recommendations, and they love a couple of specific programs. Do you guys have any programs that you really like? Other than Coomer Corner, of course.
Oh, of course, Coomer's Corner. Well,
long gone.
And you know, I don't know if this is a program as such, but one thing that has always stuck with me was the fact that they pray on the Redeemer Radio.
Yes.
And that you can just be driving down the road 27 or whatever, and there's the Rosary, or there's the Morning Offering, or there's the Divine Mercy Chaplet. And I had a housemate who's not Catholic who started listening to Redeemer Radio, and that's one of the things that he always appreciated about this station, is that it wasn't just a bunch of jabberwocky. It was like people who are actually trying to foster participation in the spiritual life, and so that's one thing that has always stuck with me.
It is
especially the Divine Mercy Chaplet with my mother.
With your mother,
she would always do that.
There's just something so special. You're going down the road, you have a busy day, you turn on Redeemer Radio, and someone's praying. It just kind of brings you all back to focus on what you really need to be the most important things in life, and sometimes it's the most basic things. I really appreciate you bringing that up, Tom, because that is really one of those wonderful things about Redeemer Radio. We need to get the phones ringing. We're doing wonderful. St. Joe Hessen Cassel is definitely being represented, but we need to get to our goal, and we're getting really close. So if you would, go to the redeemerradio.com, and you can hit Give Now, or you can call or text 260-436-9598 and keep them coming. But we want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Ed Mertz and Mr. and Mrs. Michael Smith for their pledges. We need 5 more to hit that, unlock that match. It's really going to help us get over the edge to get that Hessen Cassel goal. So just keep those coming, and we'll go from there. Other programs that anyone likes from Redeemer Radio?
I really enjoy Al Cresta in the
yes.
afternoon, partly because I love the historical part of things that he talks about, but also the political. Being a history teacher, that's kind of what I like. But I've always liked his program.
Wonderful. I just had a chance to go to his studio recently and see him broadcast live, and it's amazing what wonderful work he does in such a small space. But truly a giant among men as a layperson, and the work that he does. And I was first introduced to him. I'm a kind of a super fan myself here through Redeemer Radio. He's an amazing, amazing man. Many people may not realize because it's radio, but he actually is in a wheelchair, and he gets around better than I do. He's a great guy, and definitely a giant on Redeemer Radio fans. So any other favorites from Redeemer Radio?
Coomer's Corner.
Yes, of course. We need to bring that back. We're gonna have to start a petition to bring it back. But
it's a good thing because races are coming, and so it's a good stuff.
Well, we have 12 more minutes left here of St. Joe Hessen Cassel Hour at Redeemer Radio, and
let me offer a suggestion. Now,
feel free.
There's many people who are tuning in now. They're going to get ready to call in the next hour with the Tipmans because they'll get their pledges will be doubled up. But how about this as a suggestion? Why don't you divide your pledge? Call in now, give us half, and then the Tipmans will double up to the full thing in the next hour. So call in, make a pledge, help us make our goal here at St. Joseph of Hessen Cassel.
That's right. We're share, as they say, share the good, and I'm sure Uncle John would have no problems with that suggestion. So
I'm going to see if he's in the green room now. Maybe he could give me $1 or something now.
I bet he would. He's a very sharing man. But another thing is, too, remember, every hour Redeemer Radio costs about $150 to underwrite. So every time that you give that gift, you'll get a wonderful shirt that says Share the Good. And T-shirt they're all nice and light blue, and we're going to shade the county blue for the Share the Good T-shirt. So if you would, if you pledge $150, we'll make sure you get that. I want to thank Linka Berry for her pledge today. Did I say that right? Allison Berry.
Allison. Hi, Allison.
Boy. And we need 3 more calls to hit our match. We're getting really, really close, so keep them coming in. We got about 10 minutes left. And I hear the phone starting to ramp up. They like to make us nervous. They like to make us work for it a little bit.
Okay.
So. But keep those coming in.
Call or text, please. Make a donation to keep the work of the Creator going on.
So, Father Bill, how many years have you been a priest now? I like to just challenge him all the time.
Well, I have to think about that. So maybe we'll call in my 3rd graders and have them do the math. I was ordained in May of 1975, so I guess that might be 47 years, give or take.
47 years of enriching souls.
Will be,
So that is a lot of people who've known you and been enriched by you, and they all need to start texting in right now
Right.
at 436-9598. But
all of my friends they're a little tight with a nickel, so that's all right.
Well, like Leanne or Jeannie said that, St. Joe Hessen Cassel is known for doing a lot with a little. And I love that parish. Actually what's brought me out to the parish there is sports, actually. You're so generous with your facilities. Over the years, many of our kids have been able to borrow your facilities for sports games and other things. And it's interesting to me the different ways parishes use their facilities to outreach to other people. And actually, a wonderful Lutheran group was telling me about how benevolent your parish is with helping them with facilities. So I think that's a really cool thing. But I want to thank Dan O'Neill, who's a pledge in the memory of an old friend, Bill Boucher.
Yes, Boyer.
Boyer. So, we need keep those calls coming. We're getting very, very close. We need just one more pledge to get our bonus, and we're getting really close to our goal, but we need to keep going. We need that bonus plus a few more pledges, and we're getting really, really close. But tell us how many kids pledge at the school for today.
Well, today is Thursday, so we only have 142 there. So 142 kids brought in the $207.
That's amazing.
So I think that's 142 more, so I think we made it.
Yeah.
So I think we can have Tom, sing Irish Eyes for us.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have a pledge for each child. Yeah, so
we're good.
Very good, yeah.
We might beat the Titmans.
No, we won't.
In the number, not in your mouth.
That's not going to happen, but so that.
Well, we do hear, we're so excited about how the phones are ringing now. They're interrupting us a little bit, which is a wonderful plan. I would love to also thank Teresa Anderson. She says, I will donate to St. Joe Hessen Cassel. I love and miss everyone there. Sure do miss Father Bill and his staff and the children. So what a wonderful thing. Thank you, Tricia, for that. And keep them coming. We're getting really, really close. This is really exciting. So tell me a little bit more about the school. Is there anything else that we need to know about them before we sign off?
I don't know, Father.
It's
do you
your
think
school.
Anything else? Anything else we need to know? I thought I've talked a lot about the school.
All right. They want us to go a little bit longer here, so you have to start talking about that.
They get to wear green today, don't they?
Oh, they are wearing green today. So I told that at the beginning that rather than red and blue today, we are green. So we look more like St. Vincent's than St. Joe today.
Father, I don't see any green on your your clerics.
There's some places you're not allowed to look.
Oh.
Right.
I've heard that from some of my teachers.
Green
too.
socks,
Yeah, whatever.
Some beads. You want to wear some beads?
Well, this is a big day today. Not only we just reached our first match. So we're very, very excited about that. But obviously they're coming in pretty quick now. We might get a second one. So let's just keep those phones ringing. We want to see if we can get that second match going as well. But it's a big day today. Not only do we have St. Patrick's Day to honor St. Patrick's, we're here at St. Joe Hessen Cassel. We got the Sharathon going on. It's also the start of March Madness. People are really excited about March Madness today. So those need to take time today and to give a pledge. If you're starting to fill out your brackets, make sure you're also texting into 436-9598.
And you can add Notre Dame to those brackets.
Yeah, go Irish. That's right. Thank you so much to Carol Song for coming in. Father Bill, she says you're awesome, and thanks for all you do. Clearly, Mr. Father Bill here has a wonderful following. We appreciate that. So, do you find that a lot of your past parishioners come to see you at St. Joe Hessen Cassel on occasion?
On occasion, no. I would never allow them to do that. They have to maintain their own parishes, So that's what we want.
Right. Well, I would just slipped a message. I can't believe this. We're only $200 away from hitting our goal for this hour, so really close. So keep those phones are ringing. Keep coming in. We're really, really excited. We definitely want to hit our goal because we want to be able to tell the Tipmans next hour that they got to hit their goal. So we're going to challenge them.
For sure.
Thanks to Gabriel Broyle and Miranda Wagner for their gifts. We really appreciate that. Keep them coming. We've got about 4 minutes so we can have bragging rights that we hit ours and everyone else can hit theirs.
Get far enough, we can brag a little bit. It's been hard a little bit to make those, but we have a kind of a small place, but very generous hearts and people. So we'll do okay. Some will come in after we're off the air too.
Thank you for Andrew Bobe. They keep coming in. So St. Joe Hessen Cassel has always been a wonderful parish, small but mighty, and I love it. They're such loyal followers to Redeemer Radio and such wonderful parishioners in the diocese.
Gabrielle Bowl and Miranda Wagner are two of our 6th graders. So they're 2 students who pledged.
Oh, that's wonderful. So they're 12?
Playing hooky.
Yeah, probably about 12.
12 years old. They probably have their phones. They're texting.
Oh,
so.
No. They don't have their phones. They probably came down to the office or have
I love it. So we want to keep that going. We don't want the principal's office flooded while the principal's here with more pledges, but we'll take them any way we could get them. But we're really, really excited that St. Joe Hessen Cassel looks like they're going to hit their goal if we keep these phones ringing. Again, at 436-9598. We'll keep those going. I just love the children. I mean, they're just such leaders, aren't they? I mean, we learned so much from them.
Yeah, Gabrielle and Miranda actually did our virtual tour last year. So
Really?
they put that together. Yeah, it was very good. So if you go out and look for it, you'll meet Gabby and Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
So Tricia Anderson, we want to thank her again for her gift to St. Joe Hessen Cassel. And they just keep rolling in, and I'm trying to keep up with all the names, but I really appreciate them.
Yeah, so Trish actually was our school secretary way back when.
Really? Yeah. Wonderful. That's great. So I'm sure you've had how many
before you? What?
How many employees do you have at the school?
How many
employees?
That's a good question. You got to let me know ahead of time that I need those. We have a teacher per grade, so we have 10 teachers and numerous staff, so we're probably about 20, right around 20.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We're just wrapping up the last couple minutes of the St. Joe Hessen Cassel Hour here at the Spring Sharathon for Redeemer Radio. We encourage you to keep those pledges coming in. Thank you to Veronica Brown. We really appreciate you to give again. We so appreciate that. And I just want to make the announcements that we have met our goal and the pledges are still coming in for Hessen Cassels. So for the next hour, which is we're getting ready for the Tipman Hour, the pressure is on. Father Coomer came in and hit his goal. So let's see if the next hour can do the same. So I think you said you wanted to follow them, but maybe you did better leading today.
Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out. So I'm glad that we got whatever goal that was we had today. I missed a few first minutes, as you know.
Well, we appreciate you being here, of course, and in all your leadership and time you've donated to Redeemer Radio over the years, and especially to your servant hearts, to our principal and our music director at St. Joe Hessen Cassel. We know that you work so hard behind the scenes to move the faith along, and we really appreciate all your servitude to and Christ's love that you show other people. So,
well, thank you for the service the radio gives to us in our school and our work.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So with that, we're at the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick break as we get ready for the Tipman Hour. So tune in. I know there's a lot of them out there.
Always. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
You're listening to Sharathon on Redeemer Radio, 106.3 FM WRDF, Columbia City, Fort Wayne, 95.7 FM WRDI, Napanee, Michiana, and streaming on the Redeemer Radio app. Stay tuned to your listener-supported local Catholic radio station.
Help us amplify the voice of God. Pledge now by calling or texting GIVE to 260-436-9598.
Invest in the future of the Catholic Church by investing in the future of Redeemer Radio. We are always working on new ways to reach young listeners who are most at risk of leaving the faith and non-Catholics who are finding the fullness of the truth for the first time. Your investment in our mission can help us reach those most in need of hearing Christ's word.